Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'll be showing you how I build my repertoire live. And today, instead of just talking about it, I will literally be adding moves to my repertoire. So hopefully it'll be a cool process, and I'll explain to you some of the steps and procedures that I take before selecting my move of choice in a given position. So a weird thing is that I am actually using three computers right now. The main one is the one that I'm recording on, and I have two monitors beside me that you can't see, but both of them are cooking up lines. I'm using the Leisha Stockfish like always, and I'm running each position to a depth that I don't usually go to too many times before. And the computer that I'm working on right now, well, recording on, doesn't go to an extremely high depth. Usually it can only go to around depth 30 before it takes a minute or so to advance to the next depth. But the monitors that I'm using to my left, which you can't see, they are a lot faster and have better CPU, I guess, and can move up in terms of depth a lot quicker. So I will be using that, and unfortunately you can't see it, but I'll be describing the process as I move along. And another weird thing is that I forgot to mention before is that my recording software is the built-in Windows gaming bar recorder, and unfortunately it cannot record multiple tabs. So what I mean is that you see that my screen is currently on chess position trainer, but now I actually just switched to Lee chess. And you might not know this because it does not show on the actual video. And I've tested this a few times in the past, so I'm not sure if there might be changes currently, but from my past experience, Windows gaming bar doesn't show when I change tabs. So that's a major downside of Windows gaming bar, but it'll still work. Like I said, I'll just be explaining my processes and stuff like that. So um, I'll just actually just get into what I'm doing right now, and that is that I'm currently building my Sicilian defense repertoire, as you can see. Now to the left here, you can see that there's obviously many moves and lines such as the open variation, closed, Alapin, Smith mortar, etc, etc. And currently I'm only working on my Najdorf repertoire, but I might switch to the d4, the Smith mortar gambit later on because, frankly speaking, I don't know much about it, so um, I'll be doing that. So currently, one of my monitors is working on this line, the F3 line here. Now this is one of the most common lines, and there are two main moves, which is either bishop e7 or the move h5. And bishop e7 is played more than h5, but the engine right now actually says h5 is the best move, and currently it's at depth 40, and it says the position is plus 0.4, but I'm not too sure. And maybe if the engine's at around depth 50, maybe 60, it'll say bishop e7 is the best move, but currently I might actually consider h5 as my repertoire move. And you might think h5 looks cheeky and maybe a bit non-mainstream, I guess. And although that is true, it is a good move. Like the engine says so, the database says that black has the best win rate after h5. But I'm just gonna leave this line on for a bit longer and wait for it to maybe go to depth 42 to 45. So I won't be talking about that in a while. And my other monitor is working on, well, the main computer which I'm recording on currently is working on this line right here. So after this, bishop e7, bishop c4, here is the main move. And there are two moves here, which is either bishop e6 or short castles. So I'm running the computer on to determine whether I should play which. And currently at depth 38, right now it says the position is plus 0.2 and that short castles is the best move. Now, bishop e6, like I mentioned, is also a move. And it does actually give black just a very slightly higher win rate. But I do feel like castles is a more solid approach to this position, so I think that'll be my repertoire move, short castles. And I don't think I mentioned this, but my other monitor is working on not the bishop e3 line, but the bishop g5 line. And currently it is in this position where after h6, bishop h4, queen to b6 is the move that I've selected. And white has two main moves which appear to be either queen d2 or a3, and bishop takes f6 and knight b3 are also played. So usually in these positions where I have to pick some moves for my opponent, I will be picking the top 2, 3, sometimes 4 moves. And it all depends on how many times each move has been played. So if there's, say there are 10 moves that are played in a given position, and the main move is played like thousands of times, while the second main move is played only, say, 100 times, then I won't be worrying about it because the second move is obviously bad, so I won't consider non-main lines if they're bad. So, got a cough. That is my tip when you're selecting moves for your opponent. And in this position, the computer is currently at depth 36. Position is plus 0.3 for white, and it is saying that a3 is the best move. A3 is actually not the most played move. The most played is queen d2, and the third most played is the move bishop takes f6. But I think I will be putting a3 as the main move and queen d2 as the second main move. So let me just see what black does after a3 here. It looks like... Now the funny thing is that the database can be a bit deceiving when you're not looking at an engine. And what I mean by that is sometimes the most played move isn't necessarily the best move. And in this case, that might be the actual case because bishop e7 in this position is the most played, but my engine says that on depth 29 it says that knight to c6 is the best move. Now I'm not too sure whether I will be playing bishop e7 or knight c6, so I'll just be leaving this position on for a bit longer, and I'll worry about queen d2 later, and I might switch back to my other line, which is the knight c3 line, where after here bishop e3, e5, and knight b3, bishop e6. Yeah, there are also other moves in this position, and I haven't gotten to them yet, so hopefully I have time to do so later. But I have decided once and for all that I will indeed be playing h5. h5 currently depth 41, the engine says it's plus 0.1. Now let me just make sure, I just want to see what the evaluation for bishop e7 is. Now it will take some time for the engine to get to depth 30-ish, but it says that bishop e7 is around 0.5, plus 0.5 plus 0.6 for white. So it does appear that h5 is the better move. So it does look a bit funny, but sometimes funny looking moves are the best move. And I won't be focusing too much on my opponent's options here, and instead I might let me just take a look at this line real quick. So after bishop c4, short castles. Okay, so I'm still cooking this line up because the two best moves here are short castles for white and bishop back to b3 for white. Another move that I think Hikaru Nakamura played against Ali Reza in the candidates tournament. He had a position that looked somewhat like this. Couldn't remember whether he played king short castles or bishop b3, but it was one of these lines. So the most play move here is castle, so I guess I'll be incorporating that as my opponent's move of choice, and I'll also add bishop e3. There's also h3, which is sort of weird, but you know. Currently I'm just looking at another move, which is why I'm not talking, but okay, I'm just going to work on this line real quick. So after castles, the best move for white in this position should be bishop e6. Bishop e6 or knight c6, both will do, I guess. I'm just going to let the engine run for a bit longer. Yeah, all my engines are currently running at decent rates. They're all around depth 35 to depth 30, and I'm just gonna wait a bit longer until they reach like depth 42-ish, and then I'll be making my move of choice. But all my lines here are pretty solid. Like I've reached move 9, 10-ish for most of them, so my Najdorf is definitely decent. It's not good, but I actually do want to check out some master games in the bishop g5 line, because I'm still not sure what white's best move is on black's best move on move 9 is. So I do want to see some master games. Okay, so there is a lot of MVL games in this position, and it appears that in all of his games he has played the move bishop to e7. So I might be considering, yeah, in all of his games he has played bishop e7. So I think that is what I'm going to do here actually. Uh, Now some people might say you shouldn't pick a move based on how it looks or stuff like that, or the positions that you get. I do understand that, but I don't feel like going through all the nitty-gritty lines and all that. So for now, I'm just gonna look over some of the best moves, and then maybe in the future I'll be considering the positions that come out of each line. So I think I'm gonna stop working on the bishop g5 line for now and take a little sneak peek at this line which I've cooked up. Bishop e6, say f3, h5, and it appears queen d2 is the move here. And after that, knight b d7 or bishop e7. So both of these moves are good. I guess knight b d7 is the better one, but engine currently at depth 33, so I will wait for it to catch up to the other positions. But I think that'll actually be enough Najdorf work for right now. And in this position, I will just play knight bd7. It's by far the best move. In the Masters database, believe it or not, knight bd7 has been played over 2,000 times, and the second most played move, bishop e7, has been played only around 30 times. So that just goes to show you that knight bd7 is the obvious best move. So we'll just leave it at that, I guess. And obviously there are a lot of other Najdorf lines. Like here you can see there are many moves. I obviously cannot get to like move 15 on all these lines in one day, so my entire repertoire project will take most likely a year or so. But I guess that'll be it for today. I'm just not gonna work on the Smith more today because I have to eat. Maybe for another video I'll be showing you me work on that. But that'll be it for today, and I'll see you all in my next video. Goodbye.